Hello and welcome to the Blue Wolf channel. The primary reason I started this channel was to help the young people in my life get a heads up or a head start on setting themselves financially free so they don't have to be in the workforce for 30, 40 years like I was before they become financially independent. I've learned a lot along the way and I've got some shortcuts for you. Now, the last few videos I've done, it's been about reading and playing games, and it was to get your mindset straight. Today I've got some actual real stuff for you to do. Today we're going to start you on your journey. And how do you start any journey or any project? You figure out where you're at. So today we're going to talk about your personal inventory of your finances, your assets, your income, all the fun stuff that the banks are going to want to know. Not that you're going to have to deal with a bank to do any of this, but you eventually will at some point. But more or less for you to know where you're at. And I recommend you do this immediately for yourself and then do it again about every quarter, because it's real easy to let this kind of thing slide, and the next thing you know, it's a year or two and you haven't gotten anywhere and done anything. But if you measure it and you check it regularly, it's a mental reminder to pay attention to this stuff and at least get something done. You know, if you can do a little something every day, great. At least something every week, and definitely something every month. Doesn't have to be any giant steps. In fact, most of these things start with baby steps. And that's true for all aspects of life, but we're going to talk financial today. In the next section here, I'm going to walk you through some statements where you can find them and simply go through them. I will see you in a moment. So this is a personal financial statement. This is what you're going to get from, well, I just Googled it to get a template, and this is the first one that came up, so I just decided to use it. But literally, I've dealt with dozens of banks, and they all look virtually the same. The banking industry is very heavily regulated. Every line, comma, period, everything on here has been run through multiple lawyers and challenged in courts and all that. So they all run pretty much the same thing. So, and if you've ever gotten a loan for anything, you've filled this out before. But if you're new to it, because most of my viewers are young, at least that's my core audience, this is what it looks like. First, they ask you about your personal stuff so they know exactly who they're dealing with. They want to know where you live. They want to know what you own. They want to know what you owe. Then they break it down a little bit further into types of assets and all this fun stuff here. You don't really need to know any of this stuff because there's a much easier way if you are new to this and you don't have all these legalities to worry about and don't have to prove anything to anybody. Again, we're doing this for our own knowledge so that we know where we're at, so we know how to get where we're going, or at least make a plan to where we're going. One of my earlier videos, I told you to try out the cash flow game. It's an actual board game, but there's also versions of it online. So this should look familiar to you. It's a much simplified version. It's useful for you. A bank won't take it, but for our purposes, this is perfect. Right at the top, it's got the income statement, salary, if you're making any money on interest or dividends, if you have any rentals or anything else that's bringing you passive income, it goes right in here. Your expenses, again, young audience, probably student loan, car loan, credit cards. You might have retail payment, that's basically store cards or layaways, all that kind of stuff. Plus, you're probably going to have some other expenses depending on your living situation. If you're out on your own, you're going to have utilities. Instead of a mortgage payment, you might have rent. Anyway, look at all the money that's going out every month. This could be your streaming channels, again, your phone bill. How much are you spending on gas? How much are you spending on groceries? Figure out about where you're at for a month to figure out what your expenses are. And, up here's your total income, up here's your total expenses, and down here is your monthly cash flow. That's what's left over. Hopefully that's a positive number. If it's not, you need to go over here and reduce some of these things, because The very minimum thing you need to have here is a zero. Anything less than zero, you got more money going out than you got coming in. Time to address it. You need to look at your income and your expenses. And the next portion is the balance sheet. This is basically a shortened version of that bank thing that I just showed you. What assets do you own? Stocks, CDs, funds, any real estate? Like I've got a couple of rentals. I've got the house I live in. How much did they cost? How much did you pay for the down payment? How much did they cost? And what the mortgages are on them. Again, if you're new to this, you probably don't have to worry about this just yet, but hopefully you will soon. And your other liabilities is, again, your standard stuff. You can add your own lines to this and make it more detailed to fit yourself. But for a simple starting point, this is a great sheet to fill out. So that is your homework for this particular episode. Get a hold of this, and you can get it up here. You can see it's right at richdad.com. I recommend all of Robert's stuff, but only read the first 2 books. Right? You can spend a year just reading Robert and keeping up with him. That's great if you got the time, but most people don't. So read Rich Dad, Poor Dad and Cash Flow Quadrants and play the cash flow game. Either buy it used on Amazon or just play it online for free. And get yourself a copy of the statement from his website and just fill it out for yourself. Figure out where you're at, and once you know that, we can start looking at how to get this number bigger. Once you get your total income, passive income, this includes your salary or your hourly wage, whatever you're getting. This number up here will become the most important number in your life. Once you get this number, your passive income, to be bigger than your total expenses, you are free. You no longer have to work. You can do what you want, when you want, wherever you want, as long as this number, the passive income, is bigger than your total expenses. Now, the bigger the passive income is than your total expenses, it gives you larger monthly cash flow, and you want larger monthly cash flow. So, you can be free but not have any money. So, first off, figure out where you're at, and then in further future videos, we'll talk about ways to get that number bigger so you get free, and then you can start doing what you want. Until next time, thanks for watching the Blue Wolf channel, and if you like the content, please, by all means, hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you. Good day.